welcome back. I'm doing so good this year, but welcome back to Joy Serendipity. This isn't one of those like conversations that we are having today. This is one of those you feel it in your chest before you even have words for it, okay? A lot of people will tell you to heal, but they won't tell you how controlled that healing is supposed to look, right? And they don't just want you to move on, but they want you to shut up and not share your experience. They want you to do it gracefully and quietly without disrupting anything, without making anyone uncomfortable. And the moment you don't do that, the moment you speak, process out loud, or name what actually happened, you're no longer seen as someone healing, you're seen as a problem. So I'm here to really start a conversation about that, and let's discuss it, because I don't like this for anyone. If someone has hurt you, if you've been hurt or done wrong by someone, you shouldn't have to be quiet in order to save that person's, how people view that person, okay? If you want to share how they hurt you and stuff loudly, do so. They shouldn't have treated you terribly. But we're going to get more into that. So stay tuned, grab your water, notebooks, whatever, and we're going to... Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to Joy Serendipity. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. You won't regret it. And welcome back. So, how I want to start this is by saying that society, things like silence is just not, it's not just expected, like it's expected from a person. There is a difference between choosing privacy and being pressured into silence. A lot of people confuse both of them, right? Because what happens is something hurts you and it's real and it's deep, and instead of being met with space to process it, you're immediately met with instructions like, okay, this is how we need you to process it. Don't put that on the internet. Keep that between you and them. You don't need to tell everyone your business. Like the little cliche sayings to save the villain, right? But notice, no one says that when things are good. No one says don't share your happiness and, keep your joy private. It's only the pain that people want hidden. And that's not random. That is very much so conditioning. Here's the crazy thing. Silence protects systems. It doesn't protect us. It's not neutral. Like, it does something. It's, protecting the image of things and reputations and comfort. Because when you speak openly about what you went through, you're not just telling your story, you're exposing patterns. And patterns make people nervous. Because now it's not just your experience, it's something bigger. It's repeatable, it's recognizable. Oh, you went through that with him, I went through this with him. This is not okay. Once something becomes recognizable, it can't be ignored the same way. So instead of addressing the pattern, people try to contain the person speaking about it. Like, y'all know how when people pass away and people want to forget, like people start calling out negative things that person did, and people are like, well, let's not talk about that they lost their life. Someone losing their life doesn't negate how terrible of a person they were when they were on earth, if that makes sense, right? Or I find it funny how people like to know the Carfax of a car that they're about to buy. Shouldn't women get to know that another woman has been treated terribly by another person? I know a lot of people want to know that when it comes to looking for a job, oh, this person went through this with this job. Let me, protect myself. Society doesn't like that either. But that's a different story for a different day. There's a weight of being the one who spoke, though, okay? There's also like a social cost of being honest, because the moment you speak up, you risk being labeled as dramatic or bitter or attention seeking, or they like deem you as negative. But like, they do it even when, sorry, someone just texted me, even when what you're saying is real, even when what you're saying is valid. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Sorry, I was reading the text. Like, but they do it when even what you say is being real or valid. People will focus more on how you say it than what actually happened. Okay? And that does something to someone mentally. It makes you question yourself, like, am I doing too much? Like, should I have kept this to myself? And it even goes to like drastic things like women speaking up when being assaulted. They want women to be quiet. Why? So you can protect that man's reputation? No. Women need to speak up more. They need to speak up more. Not speaking up, you're slowly editing your truth in real time. And we don't need you to silence your truth. I don't want that. And in my opinion, healing in private can turn into self-abandonment, right? Like, let's talk about this idea of healing in private, because on surface it sounds healthy, and sometimes it is. Sometimes you do need a moment to process. Everyone's messaging me. But when it's forced, it's rooted in judgment. When it's about protecting other people instead of protecting yourself, it turns into something completely different. It turns into self-abandonment. When you're processing everything alone and carrying everything quietly, minimizing your experience just to avoid being seen just too much or being confrontational. The problem with that is you're not actually releasing anything, you're just containing it in order to not make people feel uncomfortable or ruin someone's reputation. You shouldn't care about reputation anyway. And I do want to put this out there. Not all sharing is the same, okay? Let's be real. This doesn't mean everyone has to share everything publicly, okay? That's not the point. The point is choice. There's a difference between I don't want to share this, okay? Or I'm not ready to share this. Because there is no time limit on sharing your experience with someone, especially when it comes to dangerous things. A lot of people have been taught that pain is only acceptable if it's silent and contained and eventually turns into something digestible. Like, okay, I can take that. But the raw truth is, unfiltered experience. That's where people start getting uncomfortable. And you know what? You can't grow without being uncomfortable. So some people need to be uncomfortable, especially when it comes to truth coming out. Your story has value, and I want to remind that, even when it's messy. Your story doesn't have to be finished to be valid. You don't have to wrap it in a lesson so it can be shared with the world. And it does not have to be pretty. I need you to know that your story matters. Sometimes saying, this hurt me, this is what I went through, and it wasn't okay, and it changed me, is the most honest thing you can do. And honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, is not something you should have to apologize for. So, I did want to explain what changes when you stop staying silent and actually start speaking up what happens. When you stop forcing yourself to be silent, a few things happen. You stop internalizing everything. You stop carrying things that were never yours alone. You start seeing the experience clearly without minimizing it. And yes, some people will pull away from you. I want you to not care. I want you to look at them and keep going. Some people will get uncomfortable. Some people will wish you stayed silent, but those are people benefiting from you being silent, not your healing. So if you have a story that is causing you not to be able to heal because you're keeping it silent in order to protect someone else, I need you to start sharing your story. I want you to heal, because stress kills people. Depression kills people. I do not want that for anyone. I'm sorry someone's reputation is going to have to be ruined with you sharing your story. But that's their fault for doing the behavior in the first place. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what woman, what man needed to hear this, because a lot of people think I hate men. I don't hate men. Some of the behavior is questionable. But I don't know who needed to hear this. Stop suffering in silence and share your experience. Okay? Because you're also helping that person grow and be better instead of hurting the next person. Okay? So I want to know what you all think. You don't owe the world a quiet version of your pain. You don't owe anyone a polished version of your healing. You're not wrong for needing to be heard out loud. So if this resonated with you, if you know someone who needs to hear this, to be reminded to feel comfortable in sharing their story, send them this video. Like, share, and comment. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope this helps somebody.